Herzlich willkommen, Sianamgela, and welcome to the Bundesliga Connection with Chris Harrington on the SL Podcast in partnership with DW Berlin.
It's time for the latest from Germany's domestic football league, the Bundesliga, and more. For that, we are joined by Chris Harrington from our partner station Deutsche Welle in Berlin, Germany. Chris, the international break has wrapped up and Hansi Flick maintains his perfect record with Germany.
Yeah, that's right. Congratulations to Hansi Flick. But before that even got started, a couple of Bayern players got bit by the COVID-19 bug. Niklas Süle, the defender, came down with COVID-19. He had to be quarantined along with a few Bayern players. You can't talk about the national team without talking about Bayern. Serge Gnabry, Joshua Kimmich, and Musiala all had to be sidelined, due to their close contact with Süle. But and speaking of Hansi Flick, that didn't slow down Hansi Flick. First, Liechtenstein, they scored 9 goals against them. Leroy Sané has been electric under Hansi Flick. I think Leroy Sané is going to be a real difference maker. He was left off that World Cup, roster a while back under, Hansi Flick's predecessor, Jogi Löw. But he's really come to life. He's really hot in front of goal. Thomas Müller, recently passed the benchmark. He picked up his 110th cap for Germany, surpassing Jurgen Klinsmann, a former coach for Germany. So the team looks really good. I mean, the offense looks really good. They look clicking, no problems whatsoever. And Hansi Flick, speaking about how good he's been doing, he's won his first 7 games. That surpasses Joachim Löw's record. That's the best start of any Germany coach. And speaking about the team moving forward, they punched their ticket first to become the first team to qualify for the Qatar World Cup. I think Germany's going to be a problem, because you have to think the way they performed in the last major tournament, the World Cup, they didn't look good at all. And they were humbled, they had to pretty much swallow their pride. They were pretty much on the end of this golden generation of talent and so forth. Well, this new class is coming along nicely. In Meche for Wolfsburg, got a cap. Ridla Baku, he scored a goal against Armenia. He scored a goal, against Liechtenstein. He also got recalled. Another Wolfsburg player, another young player that's making waves for the German team. I think Germany is going to be a problem for many teams moving forward because, they have everything to prove. They have nothing to lose anymore. They lost, kind of fell off the cliff, in Russia, the last World Cup. So this upcoming tournament, the way they look, in terms of front of goal, offensively, defensively, they look tight. I think Germany is going to be good, and I think they're going to cause a lot of teams some upsets come Qatar in the World Cup.
Chris, looking to the Bundesliga now, some league rivalries kick off this match day, starting with Augsburg hosting Bayern.
Yeah, this is an interesting rivalry, and it's only one because they're very close in proximity. They are the Bavarian clubs. Augsburg, 16th on the table. That's pretty much having their feet to the relegation fire. That's in the relegation playoff spot, not a spot you want to be in. Bayern obviously number 1, and the meeting's lopsided. Bayern have the upper hand without question. And this is interesting because it's a newer fixture. It's not so old. Augsburg's promotion, they first came in 2011. So what makes it interesting is just the close in proximity. Of course, people might back and forth. You want to consider Augsburg the underdog club in the area, without question. Robert Lewandowski's been hot in this fixture and remains to be hot right now. He leads the league in scoring. That's no shock to anyone out there who's been paying attention. But Lewandowski shines particularly bright against Augsburg, so I'd look out for him, making that difference. But I expect, Bayern to have no problems against Augsburg, despite the rivalry, despite, it could be, a huge match and an opponent for Augsburg. They're just not in a situation. They're not in a fighting position right now, so I think it's Bayern all the way in this one.
Another big one is the Berlin Derby between Hertha and Union.
Yeah, this is interesting here in the capital city, of Berlin, where I am right now. When this first got revitalized, basically their first fixture was, a couple of seasons ago, the 2019-2020 season. That was the first time ever in the top flight, the Bundesliga, that the two sides faced off. And shockingly, Union Berlin were victorious. That was in their own backyard, and this one is in their own backyard again. But since then, Hertha Berlin has stood true to their dominance in being the bigger presence in the Bundesliga. They have a better record in their last 5 matchups, but on paper right now, Union Berlin, they're 8th in the standings right now. They have 17 points. A win gets them in Champions League contention. And Hertha, have looked bad this season. They have a loss against RB Leipzig. They lost 6-0 against RB Leipzig at the end of September. Both sides are coming off a draw, so it should be interesting. But, Hertha Berlin, has been stop and go. Union Berlin a bit more consistent, and I like what Union Berlin is doing and bringing to the table. And they have a nice young striker in Awaniyi who's been looking brilliant up front. So I do expect him to continue his scoring ways. But I have Union Berlin in this matchup because Hertha hit and miss, to keep it above board.
Before we let you go, Chris, just like always, what else has hit your radar this week?
Yeah, I can't, it's hard to escape talking about Erling Haaland. He's always in the media, always back in the press. He's out, of course, with his injury. And right now, Liverpool are reportedly going to make a move on Erling Haaland. Now, he has a deal, according to some reports, he has a deal with this club that he can have a release clause triggered between 75 and 100 million euros. If that's the case, we know, if Liverpool is correct, both Manchester clubs are interested in Erling Haaland. Everyone in the world who has an opening for, a complete striker that Erling Haaland has proved to be, in every major competition he's been in thus far, everyone wants him, and Dortmund want to do everything to keep him. I find it very interesting. Right now, they're going to try to offer him more money to make him the richest player on his team. They want to give him 18 million euros a year, a ridiculous increase on his current salary right now to kind of, make him feel more comfortable about being in Dortmund. We have to wait and see how ambitious he is, where his ambitions lie. We all know Dortmund and recognize Dortmund as what it has been lately, and that's been a launching pad for players, to go to bigger situations. More recently, Jadon Sancho, if you look at the numbers, it's not working out well for him. He's in that Cristiano Ronaldo shadow. So Erling Haaland is in the Dortmund jersey right now. The club's going to do everything they can to keep him. They're going to try to, sweeten the pot a bit on their side and try to halt off some of this high interest. So it remains to be seen. I think it's interesting and to see how he responds, because if they do keep him in a Dortmund jersey longer, obviously that makes Dortmund, that much more dangerous moving forward.
Thank you very much for the Bundesliga update, Mr. Chris Harrington from our partner station Deutsche Welle in Berlin, Germany. Have a fantastic day further.
Danke und auf Wiedersehen.
The Bundesliga Connection is a team effort driven by the following incredible individuals. The show is hosted by Aidan Hewitt and Chris Harrington. It is produced by Chris Harrington. It is edited by Aidan Hewitt and Uli Presch, and graphics are provided by David Scullard.